Well, there is Cantana, Father, and I wish you joy of it. Around here, the people say, that is where the devil lives.
Perhaps there might be room for me, too.
Not in Cantana. Goodbye, Father. Good luck.
Goodbye. I wonder if you can tell me where in Quintana I shall find the house of Father Gomez.
It is just off the square.
Thank you. You live in Quintana?
I live there. What is your name?
Michael Keogh. What's yours?
Dorothea Rosalia Theodora Maria Cristina di Cortina Zichetta. But don't worry about it. I'm always called Lucia.
I'm glad to hear it.
Are you going to stay here?
I am.
I doubt it. Mallow doesn't like priests.
Mallow, the bad one. Oh, you mean Anacleto Comanche. And why shouldn't I stay here just because Anacleto doesn't like priests?
Because he'll almost certainly kill you.
He hasn't killed Father Gomez.
He has no need to. Father Gomez doesn't matter.
Is Anacleto a friend of yours?
No.
From all I've heard, he seems to be very powerful around here.
Oh, yes. You see, they're all afraid of him. My father and all of them.
Are you afraid of him?
No, why should I be? He doesn't do me any harm.
Well, I hope I see you at Mass.
You haven't seen the church yet. Or smelt it. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Well, now, does anyone know where Father Gomez lives?
Seems we have a new priest. I wonder if he knows what he's taking on.
He's quite young.
I hope he will be sensible.
Good day, Father.
Good day to you. It's nice of you to speak to me. You're the first person in the town who has.
Why not? We're in the same line of business. Father Gomez's house is round the corner on the right.
Thank you.
It's a fine-looking priest, eh, Anacleto?
Good morning.
Ah, Father. So you found your way. You should have sent someone to meet you, but you know how things are. Father Gomez is in there.
Thank you.
Oh, Father Keogh, I'm so glad you've come.
Father
I'm
Gomez.
so very glad you've come. Please sit down.
Thank you. Have you lost something, Father Gomez?
Yes, my laundry list. You have to be very careful of your laundry here. Here it is. These are the things that are lost. Pajama trousers and 4 linen handkerchiefs. If you would send them after me if they should appear again.
Why, certainly.
I'd rather hope that you'd come at night. Did many people see you?
Well, I had to walk through the middle of the town.
Oh, yes, yes, of course. Only, you see, he doesn't know you're coming. And, well, now he will know.
You mean Anacleto? But he'd have found out sometime, wouldn't he?
Yes, but now he'll know that I'm leaving. I must be going now.
So soon, but I hoped we'd have time for a talk about things.
What things? I wrote to the bishop. I told him the whole situation. Didn't he show you my report?
Yes, he did, but there were several things in it I'd like to ask you about.
My bus. I must catch my bus. Otherwise,
What time is your...
couldn't go for 3 days.
You all right?
Yes, it's just a little pain.
Now, what time is your bus?
4 o'clock.
Now, you've plenty of time. Don't worry. I'll see you don't miss it.
What do you want to know?
This man, Anacleto, who is he?
He's 29 years old. The illegitimate son of a peasant woman. His father was quite well educated. I baptized him myself. Though his mother was, well, she had her failings. He's always hated the church.
Why?
He was brought up to hate it. He grew up in a state that had denounced religion and looked upon the violation of the church as patriotism. Church had become identified with a corrupt government. And when the revolution came, the cry was, burn the churches, shoot the priests.
And now he's in complete control of the town. How did he manage it?
He's clever, he's patient, and utterly unscrupulous. He likes cats, but not from kindness. He has no kindness in him. I thought at first, in my conceit, that I could be his friend and bring him back to the church. Later, I tried to fight him. I thought that if I couldn't serve the church, I could at least die for her. But I didn't die. Other people did. Other innocent people. First, a man whose name began with A. Then one whose name began with B. Then with C.
You mean he murdered them?
He always made it look like an accident. But it was murder.
Good morning. I've come to offer you an apology. You received no welcome. But nobody told us you were coming. I wonder why. Thank you. I enjoyed the walk. But the whole town should have turned out to welcome you. I shall get to know the town in time. Maybe. So Mother Church is tending her garden at last. Pulling out the weeds after all these years.
Anacleto, you have driven me out. But you cannot drive out the church. Don't make the mistake of judging her by me.
Well, since we weren't privileged to welcome the new priest, we must be sure to give the old one a good send-off. Quietly now, don't hurry. There's plenty of time.
They'll try to make me miss my bus. That's what they'll do. You'll see.
Good afternoon, Father. Can we be of any help?
No, thank you, and we can do without an escort, too.
Come now, that isn't very polite.
Get back there. Give us room to walk.
It is a sad day for Cantana. This. We are losing a good man, a good friend, and a good priest. I ask you, my friend, do you think we can afford to lose such a man?
Don't worry. They can't harm you. They're only baiting you.
Anacleto, you have done so much to me. What more is there left to do?
All right.
I'm sorry, Father, but my little one's also frightened of shots. Hey, Pablo, do not shoot. You frighten us all.
Young friend, I need this mule for the father. Get off, please.
Get off, Father, eh? Now, why should I? It's a hot day and I don't like walking.
Get off
Vito.
my mule!
Vito! You no respect. You can walk.
He's ringing the bell.
I can hear.
Strange to hear it. Three times at the Sanctus. Once at the Hankita. Three times at each elevation. I used to know the whole goddamn rigmarole.
Good morning, Father. Morning, Father.
Good morning.
Good morning, Father.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm sorry it still smells. But at least now it only smells of disinfectant.
Celia, I'm a good Catholic, but I'm subject to gout.
Oh, I see. Well, if you can't manage to get to the church, I might be able to arrange to bring the sacraments to you.
Oh, thank you indeed. But I always say if a man can't be a good man without going to church. Celia, this is our new priest, my wife.
Senora.
I'm sure we'll make him very welcome.
Yes, I'm sure we do.
And this is our little Silvanito. He's 6 months old. Do you think he looks like me?
Well, it's always hard to tell, I think, with one so young, you know. Certainly one can see.
Some chocolate for the father. I'm afraid you will... No, after you.
Please go on.
I'm afraid you'll be wasting your time in Cantana, Father.
Oh, I hope not.
Would you say you had a large congregation this morning?
No, I would not. But I believe there are special reasons for that. Apparently, Anacleto is not very keen on church-going.
Anacleto. Everything bad in town is laid at Anacleto's door. Well, he's certainly wild.
It didn't strike me as wild.
This is something which has grown out of all proportion. These tales of Anacleto. People lie, and they thieve, and if you pardon me, Father, they fornicate. If a house burns down, or a wife runs away from her husband, or a child breaks its arm, it's all Anacleto's fault.
You suggest he's harmless?
He harms no one who does not harm him.
I wonder if you'd tell me now, to what extent are you allowed to keep order here? I mean, of course, Anacleto.
He gives me no trouble. I give him no trouble.
So he rules the whole town by force and collects
Anacleto doesn't need to use force these days. The people are content to let him have his way.
And you don't feel called upon to do anything about it yourself?
Now, don't you worry. I give a lot to put him behind bars. But no police force can protect a town that doesn't want to be protected. No one complains about Anacleto, at least very seldom. Even then, the complaint is always withdrawn, and that particular person never complains again.
I see.
We get no information, no assistance. If we act on our own, everything is done to hinder us.
And what about A for Arietta, B for Beltran, C for Carranza? Now, don't you believe those were murders?
I'm sure they were, but I couldn't prove it, not without witnesses. However, it's all a long time ago. Nothing really serious has happened here since, several years.
Hello, Locha.
Hello?
I've come to see your father.
What for?
I want to talk to him.
That won't get you far.
Why not?
Because when you go in, he'll mark his place in his book with a finger. And then if you go on talking, he'll sigh and put a bookmarker in and close the book. But he will be only waiting for you to go away again, so that he can go on reading.
I told he's a great reader.
Yes. Or if you want to talk, Mother, we'll talk for hours. She won't say anything, of course, but he'll pass the time for you.
I don't think you ought to talk about your father and mother like that.
Would you rather I told you lies about them?
I do not envy you your task, Father. You see, I am Anakleto's accomplice because I pay him protection money. If I didn't, my daughter might be kidnapped or worse, my wife robbed, my house burnt to the ground. I'm not prepared to take these risks, and I think it's much better to say so frankly.
I've just been talking to your daughter outside.
Locha. Yes, I'm afraid Locha's left a great deal on her own. You see, around here, there's nobody who's suitable. She's very reserved. My wife can't get a word out of her, and there isn't very much she has to say to me. Oh, here is my wife.
My dear, I don't think you've met Father Kyo.
Why, no, I haven't, but I certainly am pleased to meet him now.
Senora.
Please be seated, everybody. Pedro, you haven't offered the father a drink after that long walk up the hill. What would you care for, Father?
I'd like a glass of beer, please.
Well, did you get anything out of it?
How do you know I wanted to get anything out of it?
Of course you did. You wanted to ask Father if he'll help you fight Anacleto. And the answer is no. I could have saved you time if you asked me.
Do you think Anacleto needs to be fought?
Of course. He's the bad one, isn't he? But he's a man. And it will take another man to fight him.
Perhaps something else can fight him. Something much stronger than Anacleto.
Oh, you mean God? I don't think God worries his head very much about this place. Goodbye.
Will I see you at Mass again soon?
Maybe. I don't know.
Now you've got 3 more stacks. Each night another one will be burnt down till the money's paid.
But, senor, I'm poor. I have no money.
Much better to pay and get it over.
But...
Anacleto! Anacleto! Good evening, Father.
What's going on here?
We were trying to put out a fire, weren't we, Marco?
Yes, senor.
We were passing and we saw it flare up. Came to try and put it out, but I'm afraid it's gone too far. Never mind, Marco. You've got 3 more stacks. You'll see they don't catch fire, won't you?
Yes, senor.
It was good of you to see the boy, Father.
I'll always come if you want me. Goodbye now. I thought you preferred horses.
I can't get this thing to start.
Is there any juice in it?
I don't know. No, it won't go on the starter. I tried.
No doubt.
Can you get it started?
Oh, yes, I'm very good at this. Aha. Have you got a pair of pliers? It's really very simple, you see.
Will you teach me to drive?
Do you mean to say you're going to start this thing up when you can't drive?
Oh, it's easy.
It is not.
You sound like my father.
Well, we'll see about the driving. You might be able to help me, though. You can do some bottle washing in my dispensary, if you like. Paco. So you've decided to come back to church again? Hmm?
But, senor, we were not going to church. We were only going for a walk.
Well, try going for a walk in the other direction. The view's much better.
If you are afraid to come to the church, then I must come into the streets to you. The root of your trouble is fear, and it is on that fear that Anacleto plays. Let us kneel down together now and ask God to strengthen us and make us bold in this battle against evil.
Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Amen.
Almighty Father, from whom all good things flow,
Get up.
strengthen our hands in this fight against evil. Grant to us, who live in this town, the strength and courage to rid ourselves of this evil thing which has so long dominated us. And let no fear of loss, or even of our poor lives, deter us from witnessing in thy name and that of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Amen.
Your congregation seems to have gone away.
For the moment. But I think they will come again.
I'm surprised that you should lead ignorant people into ways which might cause suffering.
We must all be prepared to suffer for what we believe in.
Including priests?
Priests most of all.
When did you say he goes over the mountains to confession?
Wednesday.
It's a pity. I liked him. But you better make it Wednesday. Get it over with.
Thank you, Roger. All right, then. Try that. But you'll have to see the doctor in 2 days' time.
But I have to pay the doctor.
Is there anyone else outside?
No.
All right, then I can get off. Is the car here?
Yes.
Good.
Father,
Mm-hmm.
I've been wondering what I should do about you if I were Anacleto.
And have you decided?
Yes, I have. Do you have to go around so much by yourself, especially at night?
No one is ever entirely by himself.
Yes. Yes, I know you always say that, but...
I say it because it's true. Bye, Lucia.
Morning. Morning, Father. That Cantana. It's a terrible town down there. I should not live there at all, but my family is buried there.
It doesn't have to be bad.
No, no indeed. You don't get such badness in other towns. Easier to go down than come up, eh? Mother of God. What's the matter? Brakes. The brakes won't work.
Change down, man, change down.
Won't go in, it won't work.
Get back to the top. No use, keep your hands on the wheel.
take a week. Good morning.
Hello?
Sir.
No. No, I can wait.
No.
Can you try to fix that?
Just a moment. I thought you'd given up riding for nursing.
Not entirely. I beg you not to harm Father Keo. It's a long time since we spoke together.
Yes.
And you told me then, if ever I asked you for help, you...
As you said, it was a long time ago.
The brake cable had been sawn practically through. 100 yards further on, nothing could have saved us.
Well, of course, have been pure accident.
Any chance of finding out who cut the cable?
Well, we can try. There's not much chance of proving that Anacleto had anything to do with it. Look, Father, they won't stop because of one failure. I could give you a police guard.
No. I can't do my work from behind a hedge of policemen. One must just have faith. After all, it can move mountains. Only this afternoon, it seems to have made a very convenient tracking one at a most critical moment.
No woman weeps as a man can weep alone. In the wind on the mountain.
What are you doing here?
You mustn't come up here, alone and in the dark.
Nor should you.
Don't you realize that when they hear the bell, other people know that you are here, alone? Listen. There is someone outside. I thought there was as I came up the path.
Your nerves are all on edge. Probably old Sam the goat.
No!
Hey, icy? Nothing at all. Now, I'd better take you home. They'll be worrying about you. Come on. Get back! All right, get the torch. Get the torch. Why, bless me. Yesterday we saw faith move mountains. Tonight we see prayer as a protection against the powers of evil.
He must have the devil protecting him.
You shouldn't say that, old uncle. Otherwise, you'll say next that God protects him. We've tried twice. We failed twice. We can't afford to fail a third time.
You'll let me be the one to do it? You know I'll not fail.
None of us will do it.
I know you. Gives you no pleasure to kill outright. But you can't afford to play with
This one.
The people that sent him are watching him. From even as far away as Rome itself. If we shoot him outright, he'll win. He'd be a martyr. He'd die to get rid of us. I know this priest.
I tell you, you like this priest too much.
It's as well to know the value of someone you're about to destroy.
Well, how can we destroy him if we're not allowed to kill him?
He has a kind heart. And a kind heart is a weak heart. He doesn't like hurting people. He won't like people to be hurt on his behalf. He'll know what that means.
Father, we must do something about the rats. I said so before, and I'll say it again. All we need in this house is a python.
A python?
Yes, the big snake to eat up the rats.
Thank you, Jailer, but I think I prefer the rats.
It'll sleep on your bed and be friendly to you.
If it slept on my bed, I should sleep underneath it.
A friend of my sister's husband has just such a snake. It was a sad thing for this poor man, because in time his wife had more love for the snake than for her husband.
He's not by any chance trying to sell it, is he?
Yes, indeed, Father. How did you guess?
Thank you, Jailer. But I couldn't come between a man and his wife's snake.
Now, who can that be at this time of night? There was no one there. On the floor, I found this paper.
Hmm?
Is it some foolish joke?
D for Dominguez. E for Elizondo.
Next it will be F. For whom? Why don't you arrest Anacleto?
My dear father, you can't go around arresting people on the strength of a letter of the alphabet. It's well known that Elizondo was a drinking
And his
man.
name
with a
began
dark-
with E. It's the same game they played on Father Gomez.
And now you see what we're up against.
I can see what Father Gomez was up against.
Well, Anacleto gave you an alternative.
Oh, yes. Retreat. If I go, someone else has to take on my task. If I accept Anacleto's conditions, I'll be destroying these people's faith. If I say, I'm risking their lives.
Oh, all we can do now is to keep a close watch on all those whose names begin with F. And that's gonna be easy, too.
Pardon, Captain.
Yes?
The body of a child has just been found about 2 miles along the road to Huapan. He'd been run over.
What was his name?
Victorino Fernandez.
F. for Fernandez. How old was the child?
7.
7. The devil! A child of 7! Just to feed his fantastic conceit, just to maintain his dirty little bit of power! If I could get my hands... What am I saying?
You're saying what any decent man would say.
No. That's not the way. Anacleto! Anacleto! I want to talk to you.
I'll follow you later. I must ask you to be quick. My friends and I are going to a small celebration.
To celebrate the death of a child? The body of a 7-year-old child has just been found on the road. He'd been run over. His name was Victorino Fernandez.
These accidents bother you?
Death is only a tragedy if it is unnecessary and undeserved.
Last time, Father Gomez and I put our heads together and succeeded in stopping them. It's a pity you're not more like him.
I'm like him in some respects. He never wished for your personal downfall, neither do I. It's our duty to save, not destroy. So I come now to make you an offer. There is no man, however sinful, who is utterly beyond forgiveness. Even though he be a murderer of innocent people, if he turns from his ways and truly repents, God will yet receive him.
I'm still waiting to hear your offer. I told you I'm in a hurry.
That is my offer.
Is that all?
What more can a man ask for?
You're not realistic, my friend.
Good afternoon, Father.
Hello, Francisco. I haven't seen you at Mass lately.
I'm sorry, Father, but working here, it's not easy.
You run errands for Anacleto, don't you, and carry notes and letters for him? Francisco came to see me about 2 hours ago. He had a note for a man called Gonzalez. It said, expect visit in the early hours of Thursday morning. It will be wise to do as you're told. See that you are alone. Signed, Anacleto.
We may have something at last.
Francisco went straight on out to Gonzalez's visit as soon as he'd shown it to me. We must warn Gonzalez.
Certainly not. This will give us a chance to catch him in the act.
Callousness doesn't suit you, Captain.
All I want is proof, evidence. If Gonzalez can provide it, that's all right with me. For the good of the many, eh, Father? And if you give him the slightest hint that there's anyone else here, I shall shoot you myself. Otherwise, you've got nothing to be afraid of. All right, in here.
They've turned out in force.
Sign. Down there at the bottom. Thank you. Can you breathe in there, gentlemen? You can't have very much room.
Hey, wait a minute.
Captain, we're unarmed. Why are your men pointing guns at us?
What do you want with this man?
I have business with him about his farm.
At this time of night? And in full force?
I do business at any time I choose, and I prefer to ride in company. Is there a law against it?
None of them is armed, sir. Now, may we have the honor of conducting you back to Cantana, Or do you prefer to stay and discuss farming with Gonzales?
Let him go.
I don't understand it. The man was expecting him to come about the farm, and apparently he did come about the farm.
At 2 o'clock in the morning? Well, maybe they came to murder Gonzales, but somehow spotted us.
They were unarmed. Now, it's not
You don't
like
have to be armed to kill a man. Certainly. Oh, what's this? Well, there's your explanation, Father. Francisco Goya's dead.
Who?
The boy who brought you Anacleto's message.
Francisco.
Yeah. So it wasn't G for Gonzales after all. It was G for Goya.
I'd forgotten his name was Goya. I always thought of him as Francisco. What happened?
They say he must have been walking in his sleep. Fell out of a window of the hotel. I could kick myself all around the town.
Oh, Father, up here.
Someone give me a priest.
Thank God you've come, Father. His poor old uncle, he's dying.
A priest. I'm dying.
I'm here, old uncle.
Give me a priest.
I'm here.
This man's just drunk. You know that, don't you?
Drunk? But he kept saying he was dying and asking for you.
There are times when a man needs a priest, even if he's not dying. Where's Anacleto?
Oh, he won't be back for hours.
Listen, Father. I must confess before I die. I must tell you that...
You're not dying. But I can't hear confession in your present state. But you may tell me anything you please.
Tell him about Maria, Uncle.
That's a good story.
Get back! Get back, dogs! You're a dying man. See, I always read this. I was an acolyte once. Did you know that? Tingle, tingle, tingle. 3 times at the Sanctus, eh, Father? That's right, isn't it?
Quite right.
Listen, Father. You know what I am.
I know.
These are thieves, blackmailers, killers. All except Anacleto. Anacleto's someone above that. One time a man disappeared. He knew something he shouldn't have known. I can't remember what it was. You know where he went? Into a river. Someone held him down. Someone held him down.
Who held him down, Uncle?
Why?
What is this?
Old Uncle said he was dying and wanted a priest. So we went out and got him one.
He's telling the father all about Maria.
I'm sorry, Father, but you've been the victim of a very poor joke.
Not at all. I only hope I've been some consolation to him.
Why must I always be surrounded by fools?
We didn't mean anything.
Did you hear what he said to the priest?
Not all of it. He was whispering.
It never occurred to you what he might be whispering. Throw some water over him. What did you say to the priest?
Yeah! I can't.
You've got to remember. What did you
I
say?
remember.
You must remember. What did you say to him?
I talked about you.
What did you say about me?
I told him you were like my own son, that I loved you, that he must absolve you.
Absolve me of what?
I can't remember. I just said that I loved you.
And for that, he had to absolve me. You old fool, did you realize what you've done? What's this thing you wear around your neck?
Oh, that's just something for luck. You're not against luck, eh, Nicola?
That priest only has that little part of you. But I have all the rest! But the greatest part hasn't always the greatest strength.
Have I ever betrayed you? Would I side with a priest? You've been like my own son. Mother of God, I wanted to kill the priest alive!
Has old Uncle been here?
No, why?
He's coming here. He thinks he told you something this evening which might harm me. He's very fond of me.
I think he's coming to kill you. What did he tell you?
He was drunk and not making much sense. But he believed he was talking to me in confidence, and I'd never tell anybody.
Even the police?
Of course not.
What guarantee have I got of that?
Only my word. Do you accept it?
Yes. There's no bolt on your door. Why?
Because if there were, somebody who needed me might not be able to get in.
What have you come here for, old friend? It'll do no good to kill the priest.
So you love this priest so much you put yourself between him and me. That's funny. Because I love you so much that I came to put myself between him and you.
No harm's been done. He won't repeat what you told him.
He says that.
He says so, and it's true. You better get back.
Then this is all for nothing, and we're all friends again, eh?
Stay where you are.
I must shake hands with the priest who has been so kind to me. Come, Anacleto, you wouldn't stop me. Is there still room for an altar server, Father?
Yes.
Then I bring my own qualification with me. Ting-a-ling-a-ling. 3 times at the Sanctus, eh, Father?
You're still very drunk, old one. You'd better get home.
Only when I was shaking hands. First with you, and then with the Father who was so kind to me. Come, Anacleto. You wouldn't refuse to shake hands with such an old friend?
Not if it'll get you home. You heard, Father?
No. No, I'm all right.
Better him than you. You should learn to shoot straight. Take him away. Look after his gun. It's vital evidence.
Wait a minute, Captain. You can't arrest Anacleto.
Attempted murder's good enough for me, even if they did make a mess of it.
But he wasn't trying to murder me. He was trying to protect me.
Oh, Father, you're upset.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Captain. What the father says is true. Old Uncle was drunk and he came here to kill Father Kia. I had to shoot him.
That is correct.
But this man tried to murder you twice before. It's as clear as day. This is just another try. Except that this time we've caught him red-handed.
But this time he's innocent.
I don't want to hear it, Father. This is the chance we've been waiting for. If you'll only leave it to me, I
I'm
promise
sorry, Captain. It won't do.
Have it your own way, Father. What happened?
But it's as he says. Old Uncle came here to attack me.
Why? Unless Anacleto told him to.
Well, there were other reasons that I can't tell you.
Oh, come, Father. Two men come here with guns in their hands and one shoots the other?
He shot old Uncle to save me. Now, if you arrest him, I'll have to give evidence for him.
But you're trying to fight on both sides in the same war. Don't you want to break him?
I want his power broken. But I don't want him punished for something he didn't do.
All right, Father. If you won't help me, I shall have to do without you. If it weren't for Father Keogh, I'd have you cold, and you know it. But I'll rid the place of you. I'll give you 12 hours to get out of this town. If you're here after that, I'll get you. Whatever he says. Understand?
Yes, I understand. Goodbye, Father. How irritating it must be. And how fascinating it must be. To be a really good man.
Out of Estria omnipotens de Mrs. Bogarde's vestes, but the place of the Montanam, indolence absent and misem, Vencadorum vestorum, Trepalevis omnipotens miserere.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, friends and neighbors, we've met together this evening on a very important and happy anniversary. I well remember the day when Father Kio came to see me and we agreed to tackle Cantana's difficulties together. To mark this day, and on behalf of us all, I ask Father Kio to accept a small token of our esteem and of our admiration in a form which we believe will please him. Will please him most.
And so it is fitting that we in Cantana should place on the altar of God this chalice, in gratitude for all the mercies he has shown us. May God bless you all.
Still no bolt on your door, Father?
Still no bolt. Do you think it wise to come back here?
Oh, I think so. I no longer have any power here. That's all a thing of the past.
That's true. Then why have you come back?
I've come to talk to you.
Sit down, Anacleto. Now, what do you want to talk to me about?
Well, Father, I've never liked your church or your God. But if they satisfy a man like you, why shouldn't they satisfy me? I want you to explain to me where I might have gone wrong. And if you can, convince me.
You mean you want to return to the church?
Now, I want to know whether you're an exceptional man, of whom your church is quite unworthy, or whether it's your church which makes men like you. Is it the song which is good, or merely the singer who makes it so?
Now, what reason have I to believe that you're sincere in this?
Only my word, as I once had yours. Do you accept it?
I accept it.
Good. Well, you have a chance to start convincing me right away. Can I stay here?
You mean in this house?
Father, there's no bolt on your door, in case anyone who needs you should not be able to get in.
Are any of your friends here with you?
I no longer have any friends. You're the last man I should expect favors from, but then you're not just a man, are you?
I think you're beginning to understand the church, in some ways at least. Yes, there's a room you can have.
Thank you.
Taylor, Anacleto is going to stay here with us.
Father, you're sick in your head. That man, to come here, to sleep in this house.
He's nowhere else to go.
Let him sleep in the fields. And may a frost come and kill him.
Taylor, We beat him in the days of his power, didn't we? Why should we fear him now?
Roger, honey, I just don't understand you.
No.
Why, when I was your age, there were never less than half a dozen boys around me, like bees round a jam pot.
I'm sure there were.
And why not? It was fun. You're so like your father. You never seem to want to have any fun. Now, why don't you want to go to Florida? You know, Philip's mad about you, and you liked him when he was down here last year.
Mother, can't you let it alone? I just don't want to go and stay with Phil's parents. I want to stay here.
I appreciate what you're trying to do. I admire your courage. But you're wrong.
I'm bound to accept his approach as genuine. For his sake, not mine. Any risk is worth the salvation of this man's soul.
You're enjoying this challenge. Do you honestly think you'll succeed?
I don't know. He's willing to listen. I believe anyone who listens cannot fail to be convinced.
He'll never change.
That is, if you pick the right fella.
I haven't picked the right fellow.
Is he married?
No, he's not. He's not.
Then why isn't he the right fellow?
Because he's just not the right choice.
I've known there was something wrong. And then last night, we had a quarrel. And she showed me these letters. Apparently, she's been writing these letters for a long time. They're not addressed to anybody, and they've never been mailed. I would give everything to spend one single hour in his arms. To be able to touch him in the way that I want to touch him with all my love and longing. I think I would even die for that. Oh, Anacleto, why must you come back? I think I could bear it if only you'd stayed away. But now it'll be all the same again, all the old fear and longing. There's a lot more.
How well does she know Anacleto?
Well, sometimes when she'd been out riding, she'd say she'd seen him. I used to tell her not to have anything to do with him, but I'd no idea. What shall I do? Make her go to Florida?
Well, I think it might be best if you could persuade her to go, but I wouldn't force her into anything.
I wish you would talk to her father. You're the only person she will listen to.
Well, I'll try. Well, how are you getting on?
Oh, it's interesting. It's not always easy to follow. He seems to be saying here that a man has to have faith, even if he doesn't know what he's having faith in.
I think he's just saying that a man must always have faith in the essential power of good to defeat evil. But, there's something else I want to talk to you about. How well do you know Locha?
Locha de Cortines?
Yes.
I've known her for years, up to a point.
But you wouldn't say you knew her well.
I don't know her well. I understand her better than most people, perhaps. She's lonely. I know something of loneliness. Why'd you ask?
Because, it seems the child has fallen in love with you.
Fallen in love with me? Very flattering.
Has she ever written to you?
Oh, never. What makes you think she's in love with me? She told you?
No, but her mother's rather worried about her. She's been writing love letters. She's never sent them, but they appear to have been addressed to you. Now, I think this is only what schoolgirls call a crush, and I'm only telling you this in case she actually starts to send the letters to you.
I don't think she ever will. Don't you worry, Father. If she has to have a hopeless passion for somebody, it might as well be me.
Father Keo.
Yes, Sheila. Taylor. Loach will be here in a few minutes. Tell her I won't be long.
Very well, Father.
Father, I'm here.
Good morning, Loach.
Good morning.
The father's been called away. I don't know where to.
I see.
It's a long time since we've seen each other.
Yes.
Do you often come and help Father Keeper?
3 times a week. Have you still got your cat?
No. No, he died when I was away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You've grown up.
Have I?
Yes, you're a beautiful woman now. Very beautiful. Ready perhaps for this.
What do you think you're doing?
Don't you love me after all?
Love you? Are you crazy?
I was told you had a great passion for me. Your mother and Father Keogh were convinced of it.
What are you talking about? Why should I tell you that?
Your mother reached the obvious conclusion.
Perhaps too obvious.
Where did you get this?
I saw it on his desk. I'm sorry that I kissed you, but I had to be sure that my interpretation of that letter was right.
What do you mean? What interpretation?
Well, being a modest man, I knew it wasn't meant for me. The person to whom it was addressed seemed obvious.
It wasn't addressed to anybody.
No, I know. I'm very sorry for you, Locha, really. It must be heartbreaking to fall in love with a man that you can never have. I understand this.
You? Then you won't try to harm him again?
Well, why should I? If you feel the need to talk to someone about this, talk to me.
Well, I'm late. Anybody waiting?
No, not yet. It's only 20 past.
Good. By the way, your mother tells me you've been invited to stay with Philip Brown's parents in Florida.
Yes. I don't think I'll go.
Why not? It's a nice place.
Well, I don't want to go away just now.
Well, Quintana's all right, you know, but it's a small place. I think a young woman like you ought to be getting around and seeing the world and, meeting people. You like Phil Brown, don't you?
Yes,
So do I.
the sort of person I ought to be meeting.
Well, yes.
Mother is always telling me that he is the sort of person I ought to marry. Do you think I ought to marry him?
Well, I think he's entirely suitable, if you wanted him.
I don't think I shall get married at all. People I like are never suitable.
And who are the unsuitable ones?
Oh, people like Anacleto. I really rather go for him. He's very attractive.
You'd hardly want to marry him.
I suppose not. So you think I ought to go to Florida?
Well, yes, I do. I think it'd be the right thing for you.
All right. Then if you say so, I'll go.
Good.
What I don't get is why you've been staying with a priest. What, did you learn anything from him?
I haven't learned anything from him of any great value. On the other hand, I have learned a lot about Father Keogh, which may now be of great importance. That's why I sent for you. You can lie low here. Nobody knows about this place. Then when the girl comes back, we can start.
Anacleto, have you heard about the de Courtenay's girl?
No, what?
She's got engaged to some fella in the States. That's pretty quick work, eh?
Engaged?
Yes. She's coming back here and getting married in 3 weeks' time. Or so they say.
Hello, Sheila.
Ah, senorita. Father Keogh should be here any minute, but you know what he is.
All right, I'll wait.
The wedding, it will be soon?
In about 3 weeks.
May I wish you every happiness. The young man is lucky.
Thank you.
Loach. How good to see you. When did you get back?
An hour ago.
Well, why did nobody tell me?
Nobody knew.
Well, this is wonderful news. I'm delighted.
You said he was suitable?
Well, I can't think of anybody more so.
No.
Is anything the matter?
The matter? Why should there be?
You don't sound very happy. Everything's all right, isn't it? You're quite sure about this marriage?
I'm quite sure that Phil loves me. And I'm sure that I love him. As much as I shall ever love any man whom I could possibly marry.
Morning. I hear good news of a wedding.
Yes.
And 2 months ago, she was in love with me. You pleased?
Oh, yes, yes, indeed. He's a very nice young man.
Worthy of her?
Nobody's ever quite good enough to marry a person one's fond of.
Priests not allowed to marry, are they?
Not in the Catholic Church.
But surely, like other men, they must sometimes feel a love for women.
They certainly do.
Well, wouldn't it be better for them to marry than merely to lust?
A priest with a true vocation cannot allow the love of any single person to dominate his feelings. Otherwise, he might lose the ability to love unselfishly and universally.
I see. So a married priest is inconceivable to you, hmm?
Of course.
But when you have to marry two young people, have you no feeling of envy? No feeling that your vocation has robbed you of something important in life?
My vocation has given me so much that most men never have. I think it would be unworthy of me to envy the happiness others find in marriage. After all, you're not married. Why not?
Like you. I, too, have a vocation.
Blackie! Blackie! Blackie, come here.
I hoped I might see you. I thought maybe you might need a friend at the moment. Somebody who understood your position. Your unhappiness. This, marriage.
I don't want to talk about it.
No, only say this. For fear of your own happiness. You realize, don't you, that if you do marry this young man, you're only using him as a bandage for your own wounds. Well, consider it. You will have to walk towards the man you love and hear him marry you to another man. Still not too late to change your mind. Anyway, whatever you do decide, know that I'm here to help you.
Ah, there you are. There's a lot more packages just arrived. Well, only a few days now.
Yes.
I had a talk with Father Keogh last night. You know, he's a great guy. Thinks the world of you.
Does he?
Look, Locha, stand over there for a minute, will you? I want to shoot a few feet of you against the view.
Locha, we ought to be going. Honey, you're just as cold as ice.
kidnapped. The police can do nothing about it.
You don't realize the size of the job. Remember what the country's like around here? Maybe absolutely anywhere. For all we know, they could be across the border by now.
Well, okay, it's a big job. So why don't you tackle it in a big way? Get out to the chief.
Just remember, this isn't a kidnapping. She went off with him entirely of her own accord, and half the town were witnesses. I get out to the state capitol and say a young woman's gone off with the wrong man, send an army to find him, they'll laugh their heads off.
But with a man like Anacleto, surely that you...
Father, you're not going to start criticizing. If there's one person responsible, it's yourself. If I'd had my way, Anacleto would never have been allowed back in this town.
Bless you. Say a prayer for me, too.
Father. If a man confesses his sins, that confession can never be used against him. Or repeated to anyone else, can it?
You know that.
Then I have some sins to confess, Father.
You don't come to me only to confess your sins, but to seek absolution. I can't absolve you of sins for which you're not truly repentant.
But isn't it your business to hope? Always to hope that I may be truly repentant? That you could save a soul? Even a soul like mine? Father, I've committed a terrible sin. I've taken a woman away from the man she loved.
Yes.
But the man she loved was somebody she couldn't marry.
Why not?
Because he was a priest. Does that make what I've done better or worse?
This is not a matter of confessional. If you wish to say any more about it, you can speak to me in the sacristy.
You're a very innocent and modest man, Father. But even so, have you never really noticed the girls in love with you? The moment I read that letter, I knew who the beloved was. It wasn't me. Read it again someday and you'll see.
Then why did she go away with you?
Because I was the only one that knew her secret. And when she found, as I knew she would, that she couldn't let you marry her to another man, she turned to me for help.
Where is she now?
She's quite safe. Quite safe. She'll come to no harm. At least not through me.
What do you mean by that?
Well, she's quite desperately in love with you. I'm afraid she might harm herself.
Then bring her back.
I doubt if I could persuade her to come back.
I don't know what you're getting at. Say it and have done with it.
Well, if you were prepared to tell your congregation that they had misjudged me, it would give me much more confidence to talk to this foolish girl.
I see. And what would that amount to?
Oh, the same as with Father Gomez. It was a very happy arrangement.
Do you really imagine if I told them that, people would believe that I meant it?
No. They'd realize you were saying those things because the church hadn't been able to help them after all.
Poor Anacleto. I failed you completely.
Don't reproach yourself. All you've done is to prove to me that while the singer's good, the song is worthless.
Could there be any worse failure than that? You realize, don't you, that wherever you've taken her, the police are bound to find her?
I can only hope they'll be in time.
And if I felt it was better to sacrifice one young girl than the whole community.
One very special young girl. And one you would not sacrifice. Because you're in love with her. Think it over. But don't be too long.
Out on the mountain, he lay alone, alone. In the wind, on the mountain.
All right, I'll do it.
Good.
On one condition.
You're not in a position to bargain.
Take me to her now. Let me see her and talk to her. And then I'll do it.
You know, what you ask is not possible.
Why not? Why shouldn't you take me to her?
You're not realistic. That speech to the people comes first. And afterwards, if it's satisfactory, you may see her.
No. I must see her first. Otherwise, how do I know your story is true? How do I know she's even alive?
I am very sorry. But I cannot do it. Father. Well, if I did take you to see her, what guarantee have I got that you would fulfill your part of the bargain afterwards?
Only my word.
Well, if you break your word to me, you will cease to exist. As a priest and as a man. Manuel?
What do you think you're doing?
Lucia.
You all right?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't go through with it.
I'd like to talk to her alone.
On the sole of discretion, forget I'm here.
Why did you never tell me about this?
How could I? Would you have been ready to be my lover? Or perhaps to marry me and stop being a priest?
Unlikely, but not impossible. He didn't know it, but the good father's feelings for you were the same as your feelings for him.
What's he saying?
I'm saying he's in love with you.
Oh. Is it true? Oh, if it is true, say so. Say it. Because after that, I can bear it all. I won't ask for anything else. I'll do anything you say. I'll go away and never see you again. If only you'll tell me once that you love me.
Yes, Lurcher. I love you. In my conceit, I didn't realize, didn't know that this could happen to me. I've failed you, as I failed everybody.
No. No, you mustn't say that. God won't mind. He'll understand.
God understands everything. God forgives everything. So we can all do as we please.
Oh, he's doing something to you, isn't he? Oh, if he's doing something to hurt you, I'll kill him. I'll kill him if it takes me the rest of my life. Let me come away with you. Now. Now, take me somewhere else.
No, I can't do that. You must stay here for a few days and rest. Then you'll be able to go away and forget all this.
And what will he make you pay for that? You mustn't let him make you do things because of me. You wouldn't, would you? Because I don't matter. But you do.
Locha, I must go now. Be patient. It'll only be a few days.
A few days. And then after that, what? Nothing. Only more days and days till the end of my life. Will you do one thing for me? You've been so much to me. My whole life. Just one last thing. Will you kiss me? A real kiss. A love kiss. That sort of kiss that can be a sin. Because then I shall know all through my life that you loved me so much. That you would even sing for me.
I've asked you to come here today because I wish to talk to you about something which has recently caused me increasing concern. There is a man in this town, you all know him. His name is Anacleto. Now, in the past, I've spoken to you against this man. I've warned you against him. But that was all a long time ago. And you and I should consider what our attitude towards Anacleto should now be. Should we not, as Christians, now be prepared to accept Anacleto as our friend and let him resume his position in the community? As your priest, I must tell you that when a man sincerely seeks forgiveness, it is the duty of his neighbors to receive him in all charity and friendliness. But if a man persists in evil, if his apparent repentance is merely a cloak for continued crimes, then it is the duty of the church and of the people to fight him to the death. Anacleto, you have tempted God too far.
Oh, priest, oh, priest. Where is your God now?
Father Keogh, you made a statement to me yesterday denouncing this man. Are you prepared to give evidence on that statement?
I am. Wait.
You have lost your priest.
He has indeed fought me to the death. But it's his death, not mine. I don't believe in God or in the church. But I did believe that in you I'd met a completely good man. And because of that, I, who trusted no one, trusted you. You have broken your word and betrayed me. I spit on your church. And on that goodness of yours which has failed us both. And I pity you with all my heart.
The others on the way.
Father,
search her.
It's all right. It was a good thing to do. After all, you didn't do it just for me, did you? You did it for everybody's sake. Not just mine or your own.
I don't know. I shall never know. But now I'll never be able to bring Anacleto back. I've turned him away.
But what else could you do? He doesn't believe in God or in the church. You heard him say so. And yet he was using them.
I taught him that the power of good would always defeat evil. Yet I could only defeat him by trickery.
Father, do you forgive me?
I have nothing to forgive.
Oh, yes. Yes, you have. But at least I'll try to help now. So I shall go away. Right away. And then it will be over, won't it?
Get down, Father! Get down! Close to the wall!
Oh, that's one of them anyway.
Is Anacleto up there?
No, he went.
There. There he is.
the rest of them.
Captain, you'll try to take them alive. He can't escape now. There's no need to kill him.
H-I-J! Gay!
Father. Not you too. Not you too.
Plato. Act of contrition. You must say an act of contrition with me. Say it after me. Oh, my God. I am heartily sorry for having offended thee.
I have no God to offend.
Say it. I can't hear. Are you saying it? And I detest all my sins because... Anacleto, I can't hear. I can't hear. If you're saying it, press my hand. And I detest all my sins because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell. Anacleto, press my hand if you're saying it. Oh, merciful Father, whose love never dies, forgive me, for I'm truly sorry. Anacleto, press my hand if you're saying it. I thank thee, most merciful Father.
The singer. The singer. Not the song.